Hey there, and welcome back to another episode of our English Learning Podcast. My name is Daniel, and I am so glad you are here with me today. This is episode number 5. Can you believe it? 5 episodes already. We are making great progress together. Before we start, let me remind you, take a deep breath, relax, get comfortable. Maybe you are on the bus right now. Maybe you are cooking dinner. Maybe you are lying on your sofa after a long day. Wherever you are, this is your time to learn, your time to improve your English. And before I forget, please write in the comments where you are listening from today. Which country, which city. I read every single comment, and it always makes my day to see how many different places our listeners come from. We truly are a global community, and that is a beautiful thing. So please take a second and let me know where you are. It really helps other learners find this podcast too. Okay, so today we have a very exciting topic. Today we are talking about traveling. Specifically, we are talking about the airport. What happens at the airport? What do you need to do? What do you need to say? And what English words and phrases do you need to know? This is such an important topic because airports can be stressful places, especially when you are in a foreign country and everything is in English. But after this episode, you are going to feel much more confident. You are going to know the key vocabulary. You are going to know the key phrases. And the next time you are at an airport, you are going to think, I know exactly what to do. So let us begin. Part 1. Before you go to the airport. Let me tell you about a trip I took recently. It all starts before you even arrive at the airport. There are some things you need to prepare. First, you need your passport. Your passport is the most important document when you travel internationally. Without it, you cannot fly to another country. So, always check that you have your passport before you leave your house. I usually check 2 or 3 times because I am a little bit paranoid about forgetting it. Second, you need your boarding pass. What is a boarding pass? It is your ticket for the airplane. These days, most people have a digital boarding pass on their phone. You can check in online, usually 24 hours before your flight, and then your boarding pass appears on your phone. But some people still prefer to print their boarding pass on paper. Either way is fine. Let me teach you an important phrase here. We say, I check in for my flight. This means you confirm that you are going to be on the airplane. You can check in online or you can check in at the airport. Repeat after me. I check in for my flight online. You also need to think about your luggage. Luggage means your bags and suitcases. There are 2 types of luggage. First, there is your carry-on. This is a small bag that you take with you on the airplane. It goes in the overhead compartment above your seat or under the seat in front of you. Second, there is your checked luggage. This is a bigger suitcase that you give to the airline. They put it in the bottom of the airplane and you collect it when you arrive at your destination. Here is a useful phrase. I pack my suitcase. The verb pack means to put things inside your bag or suitcase. I pack my suitcase the night before my flight. Repeat after me. I pack my suitcase before my trip. Part 2. Arriving at the airport. Okay, so you are prepared. You have your passport, your boarding pass, and your luggage. Now it is time to go to the airport. Most travel experts recommend arriving at the airport at least 2 hours before your flight for domestic flights and 3 hours before for international flights. Why so early? Because there are many things you need to do at the airport, and sometimes there are long queues. You do not want to miss your flight because you arrived too late. That would be a disaster. When you arrive at the airport, the first thing you see is the departures area. Departures is where people go when they are leaving. The opposite is arrivals, which is where people go when they are coming back or landing. Inside the departures area, you will see many check-in counters. These are long desks where airline staff help passengers. If you have already checked in online, you might not need to go to the counter. But if you have big luggage to check in, you usually need to go there. You walk up to the counter and the airline agent will say something like, "Good morning. Can I see your passport and boarding pass, please?" You give them your documents. They look at them. They might ask you, "How many bags are you checking in today?" And you answer, "Just one, please," or "2 bags, please." Then they put a tag on your suitcase. A tag is a small label with information about where your bag is going. They put your suitcase on a conveyor belt and it disappears. Do not worry, you will see it again when you arrive at your destination. Hopefully. Let me teach you a phrase. I drop off my luggage. This means you give your big suitcase to the airline at the check-in counter. Repeat after me. I drop off my luggage at the check-in counter. Part 3. Security. After checking in and dropping off your luggage, the next step is security. This is the part that many people do not enjoy, but it is very important for keeping everyone safe. You walk to the security area and you will usually see a queue. Sometimes a short queue, sometimes a very long queue. You wait in line with all the other passengers. When it is your turn, you need to do several things. First, you put your carry-on bag on the conveyor belt. This belt goes through an X-ray machine that takes a picture of what is inside your bag. Second, you need to take out your laptop if you have one and put it in a separate tray. A tray is a flat plastic container. Third, you need to take off your belt, your watch, and anything metal from your pockets. Coins, keys, your phone. Everything goes in the tray. And here's something important. You cannot take liquids in containers larger than 100 milliliters in your carry-on bag. So no big bottles of water, no big bottles of shampoo. Small bottles only, and they should be in a clear plastic bag. This is the rule in most airports around the world. Then you walk through the metal detector. This is a big doorway that checks if you have any metal on your body. If it beeps, a security officer might ask you to step aside. They might use a small device to scan your body. Do not worry, this is normal. Just stay calm and follow their instructions. A useful phrase here, I go through security. We use the phrasal verb go through because you are passing through the security checkpoint. Repeat after me. I go through security before my flight. Part 4. At the gate. Congratulations, you have passed through security. Now you are in the departures lounge. This is a big open area with shops, restaurants, cafes, and gates. A gate is the place where you wait before you get on your airplane. Every flight has a gate number. How do you find your gate? You look at the departure screens. These are big screens that show information about all the flights. You look for your flight number, and next to it, you will see your gate number. For example, flight BA245 to London, gate 22. Here is a very useful phrase. What gate is my flight? If you cannot find the information, you can ask an airport worker, "Excuse me, what gate is flight BA245?" And they will help you. I usually go to my gate early and then I have some free time. This is a great time to relax, maybe buy a coffee, or do some shopping at the duty-free shops. Duty-free means you do not pay tax on the products, so things like perfume, chocolate, and alcohol are often cheaper. But do not get too comfortable. Listen for announcements. The airport will make announcements about your flight. They will say something like, "Attention passengers on flight BA245 to London. Boarding will begin in 15 minutes at gate 22. Boarding means getting on the airplane. And here is a tip. Sometimes the gate can change. So always check the screens. I have had this happen to me before. I was sitting at gate 14, relaxing, drinking my coffee, and then I heard an announcement, "Gate change for flight BA245. Your new gate is gate 31. Gate 31 was on the other side of the airport. I had to walk very fast. It was not fun. So, always pay attention to the announcements and the screens. Let me give you a phrase. My flight is boarding. This means people are starting to get on the airplane. When you hear this, it is time to go. Repeat after me. My flight is boarding at gate 22. Part 5. Boarding the airplane. When boarding begins, you will hear an announcement. Usually they call passengers in groups. Business class and first class passengers usually board first. Then families with small children, and then the rest of the passengers, often in groups based on your seat number or your row. You walk down a corridor called a jet bridge. This is the tunnel that connects the airport building to the airplane. At the entrance of the airplane, a flight attendant will greet you. A flight attendant is a person who works on the airplane and takes care of the passengers. They will say something like, "Welcome aboard. Can I see your boarding pass?" You show them your boarding pass and they will direct you to your seat. Here's an important phrase. Where is my seat? If you are confused, just ask a flight attendant. "Excuse me, where is seat 14A? They are always happy to help. Now, on the airplane, you have different types of seats. There's the window seat, which is next to the window. I love the window seat because I can look outside and see the clouds and the landscape below. Then there is the aisle seat. The aisle is the pathway in the middle of the airplane where people walk. The aisle seat is nice because you can get up easily without disturbing other people. And then there is the middle seat. The middle seat is between the window seat and the aisle seat. Nobody likes the middle seat. It is the worst seat on the airplane. But sometimes that is all that is available. When you find your seat, you put your carry-on bag in the overhead compartment. That is the storage space above the seats. Then you sit down, you fasten your seatbelt, and you wait for the airplane to take off. Take off means the airplane leaves the ground and goes up into the sky. A useful phrase, I fasten my seatbelt. We do not say, I close my seatbelt or I tie my seatbelt. We say, I fasten my seatbelt. Repeat after me. I fasten my seatbelt before takeoff. Part 6. During the flight. The airplane takes off and you are in the air. Now what? Well, it depends on how long your flight is. If it is a short flight, maybe 1 or 2 hours, you do not have much time. But if it is a long flight, you have plenty of time to relax. During the flight attendants will offer you drinks and sometimes food. On short flights, you might get a small snack and a drink. On longer flights, you usually get a full meal. The flight attendant might ask you, would you like chicken or pasta? Or what would you like to drink? You can say, I would like water, please. Or, can I have orange juice, please? Here is a polite phrase you can use on the airplane. Could I have a blanket, please? Or, could I have some water, please? Using could I have is a very polite way to ask for something in English. Repeat after me. Could I have some water, please? Many airplanes also have entertainment systems. You can watch movies, listen to music, or play games on the small screen in front of your seat. This is very nice on long flights because it helps the time pass faster. And of course, there is the toilet on the airplane. We call it the lavatory. It is very small, but it does the job. When you want to use it, look for the sign that says vacant, which means it is empty and available. If the sign says occupied, that means someone is inside. Wait until it changes to vacant. Part 7. Arriving at your destination. After many hours in the air, the captain will make an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, we are beginning our descent into London Heathrow. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. The airplane goes down slowly, and then you feel a small bump when the wheels touch the ground. This is called landing. The airplane has landed. Everyone claps. Well, not everyone, but in some countries, people clap when the airplane lands safely. I think it is a nice tradition. The airplane stops and the seatbelt sign turns off. Everyone stands up at the same time and tries to get their bags from the overhead compartment. It is always a little bit chaotic. My advice, be patient. There is no rush. You will get off the airplane, I promise. You walk through the jet bridge back into the airport building. And now, if you are arriving in a foreign country, you need to go through passport control. This is also called immigration. A border officer will check your passport. They might ask you a few questions. Common questions include, what is the purpose of your visit? You can answer, I am here on vacation, or I am here for business. They might also ask, how long are you staying? And you say, I am staying for 1 week, or I am staying for 5 days. After passport control, you go to the baggage claim area. This is where you collect your checked luggage. There are big conveyor belts called carousels that go around, and suitcases come out on them. You stand there and wait for your suitcase to appear. When you see it, you grab it and you are almost done. A key phrase, I go through passport control. Just like security, we use go through for passport control. Repeat after me, I go through passport control when I arrive. Part 8, Vocabulary Review. Before we finish, let me review the most important words and phrases from today's episode. Passport, the official document you need to travel to another country. I always carry my passport when I fly. Boarding pass, your ticket to get on the airplane. I show my boarding pass at the gate. Check-in, to confirm you are going to be on your flight. I check in for my flight online. Luggage, your bags and suitcases. I drop off my luggage at the check-in counter. Carry on, a small bag you take on the airplane with you. I keep my carry-on under the seat. Go through security. To pass through the security checkpoint at the airport. I go through security before my flight. Gate, the area where you wait to board your flight. My flight leaves from gate 22. Boarding, the process of getting on the airplane. My flight is boarding now. Flight attendant, a person who works on the airplane and helps passengers. The flight attendant was very friendly. Fasten your seatbelt. To close and secure your seatbelt, I fasten my seatbelt before takeoff. Passport control, the place where they check your passport when you arrive in a new country. I go through passport control after landing. Baggage claim, the area where you collect your suitcase after your flight. I pick up my luggage at baggage claim. These are all essential airport phrases. If you remember these, you will feel much more comfortable the next time you travel. And that is the end of episode 5. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for spending your time with me and for choosing to improve your English. It means the world to me. I hope that after this episode, you feel more prepared for your next trip to the airport. Traveling should be exciting, not stressful. And when you know the right words and phrases, everything becomes so much easier. Remember, please write in the comments where you are listening from. I want to know your country, your city. Every comment helps our community grow. And if you have a funny or interesting airport story, please share it too. I would love to read it. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, click the like button, and share this podcast with a friend who is learning English. The more we share, the more people we can help. I will see you in the next episode. Until then, take care of yourself. Have a wonderful day. And remember, every day is a new opportunity to learn something new. This is Daniel, and you have been listening to our English Learning Podcast. Goodbye for now. Safe travels.